The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out.
Lord, 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 nothing I did, nothing I tried, nothing I smoked, nothing I snorted, nothing I drank, no man I did, no one did me, nothing did me any good. Oh Lord, even that the food I put in my mouth wouldn't help me, Lord. Woo!
You are traveling with the OM Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the OM Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. It's the Hood Mystic. Representing hoodmystic.com, whiterabbitpsych.com, columbianexchange.com. With a quick video to really update the family, look at some astrology, connected to some real world events, and hopefully put you up on some game. If you are watching this video post live, do me a favor, like the video. If you are here live, please like the video. It is what helps the channel the most. I appreciate everybody's support. But before we get into the full moon conversation, let me just go ahead and alert people to the Substack where the article for this conversation will be taking place at. So if ever you want to, I guess, be privy on just this conversation, this is my second full moon wealth portal video, meaning that our first wealth portal video, it was pretty accurate as we look at the financial markets as of now. Now, if you on the outside looking in, it's still enough time to learn. Got some resources on this website. It's a free little article, free blog for you to tap into. But it has some resources on there because at the end of the day, nobody can do the work for you. But if you was anything like me when I was first getting told this information, I really didn't want to hear it, and I really didn't want to focus on it because I didn't necessarily believe it or whatever. But it's like, if you never understood money at a basic level, like how to count it, what is for or what is from, but yet and still is something that you want, the easiest way that I found in like understanding money or getting money is through basically studying it. So I have been on a journal or down a rabbit hole, one would say, on the White Rabbit Substack, where I have these paid articles called Financial Shadow Work. And it's a set of 7 articles, right? But it's also like a flagship article called Financial Shadow Work that I wrote a year ago, almost a year to the day, Financial Shadow Work. But this past month, since like October, I did like a 7-part or 8-part series and really doing the nitty-gritty of financial shadow work. Now, what I want to do with this is turn it into an ebook, but before I like do the real editing and real design work, I just wanted to give those to the people who subscribe to the Substack, pay the $5 a month, because what this has actually done is like none of this stuff was happening as far as like Bitcoin and tonight is the night of the fight. And when you talk about a fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, that is big money. That people are like, that is big money. Like the video, if that's big money, that's gonna be wagered, pay-per-view, things of that nature. So for it to happen on this full moon is more tied into being tapped into like different financial systems and financial processes. And I was on this wave for a long time, but it's so crazy. Like it don't make sense, but that's the thing about doing shadow work. You find things about yourself that you're not consciously aware of what's holding you back. So every one of these articles, rather, they have worksheets attached to them, and you can either print the worksheet or journal through the worksheet. So this isn't the one that I'm specifically talking about, but like I said, they all have worksheets. And I was actually working through the worksheets myself, like just really just working through the worksheets myself. And the reason why I'm such a big proponent of the worksheet is because it is you doing the work for yourself in a way that nobody can do the work for you. Although it might be time consuming, it might be uncomfortable, it might conjure up negative feelings, it still creates an ability to sort things out. And a lot of times when I'm telling people to journal, they're like, well, I don't know what to journal about. They're like, I don't know how to journal or when to journal. So now you have the whole worksheet that's giving you more or less play for play, point by point on what to journal. So I'll even try to find the exact worksheet that I'm talking about. But I just finished up the series yesterday. But I think it's this one. Identifying your money shadows. And then I just printed out the worksheet, whatever. And then I started just writing about stuff about my past. I started writing about like growing up. I just started writing about it, and the thing just started to just every experience that I had growing up financially, I just started to write it with no judgment. Just this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, this happened, and the dot was connected. Like, oh, you still living in that now? But what it did, because if you in poverty, at a certain point, you want to move outside of poverty. But one of the things about being in poverty, you've done things to put yourself in poverty, and you got to do things differently to get yourself out of poverty. What are those things? Somebody can tell you, oh, invest in real estate, get into crypto, trade forex, trade stocks. But if you don't do the past life work, you might succeed for a little bit and regress. And that was what I was doing. That's what I was experiencing. And just trading. I would trade, I would be in it, get knocked out of a position, and just, focus on other stuff. Get into it for a little bit, get knocked out of a position, go to other stuff. And then, when I wanted to get back into it, I couldn't. And not even realizing that I wanted to get into it, I couldn't. But what I'm saying is, I did this worksheet. I identified my money shadows worksheet, the introduction to financial shadow worksheet. I did it, and it cleared up a lot for me. That nap, and I said, I wrote this article. October 24th. Okay. So if we just real quick you know, because now I'm back on it real tough. I'm back to just studying my charts and just, you know, practicing my own little formulas, like what I'm doing in my spare time, in my free time. And it feels good because I've done the shadow work to know that this is something that I want to do. And so, just to show you, I said I wrote the article in October 24th. Bitcoin, let me see if I could get a shape going on. If I could get a little shape. October 24th, Bitcoin was in this area, in the 69,000 mark. Today, November 14th, Bitcoin went parabolic. And it's the start of a new phase of finances. I say this now because it's not too late. And the reason that I'm even aware or even on this type of time where most people, one's in the chat, if you don't know what the fuck people is on. One's in the chat if you don't know what the fuck people is on. Like the video if you like the video. Share the video if you feel that this can help somebody. People going to talk about all types of weird shit to you. But at the end of the day, I'm saying this cycle is just now beginning. Even if we go through some corrections. Even if it goes down from here and it goes down to whatever it goes down to, study about cryptocurrency, because if you plan to be alive in the next 20 years, it's going to be a big deal, and it'll be smart for you to deal with it now as opposed to avoiding it. So we're looking at this from the moon conjunct Uranus in Taurus. So ever since Uranus has been in Taurus, the cryptocurrency, give me 1 second. The cryptocurrency has, you know, been more on a uprise. People are more talking about it. But since 2022, it's been more or less of a sideways market. In that period, people can get bored with the actual process of financial markets. And so I'm talking about this now because this hasn't even become breaking news yet. Retail trade has not even re-entered the market yet. This is all based upon manipulation. This is all based upon, I guess, reality in the future and the ways for which we all could become wealthy if we want to become wealthy. It's a choice to study it, to invest properly, to understand how much you have to invest, and to get into it. Or you can stay on the outside looking in, working at the job. I don't have a job, but I wish I had a job. Because if I had a job, I would take my paycheck and I would invest it all into Bitcoin if it dips. I would monitor the chart, find my best entry position, and I would invest that whole paycheck. And I would pay my bills and I would invest my paycheck into cryptocurrency. I would invest into altcoins if I had a job. So is nothing wrong with having a job. A job is actually a great thing in this present economy. But the thing is, do you know how to invest? And the reason that I'm bringing all of this up, the reason that I'm even having this conversation with y'all is through the study of Blue Magic. That's the book that I put out. Put this book out in September it was released, but I try to do a book on my birthday. Every birthday I try to do a book. And I didn't necessarily know where it was going to come from, where the ideas in reference to wealth and bringing wealth into my life, into other people's lives in a proficient manner. And now I know, even, and I'm not even the person that's the most versed on cryptocurrency and financial literacy. However, the clarity to be able to just say, all right, this is what I want to do financially, right? Study the financial markets, get good at the financial markets, understand the financial markets, invest wisely, invest soundly, and, really believe in myself and believe, because a lot of this stuff was things that I was doing for a very long time, but I didn't truly believe in myself to have the ability to even make money doing this and do these types of things. So, and if you feel like, man, I don't even believe that I could even be rich, that's a real feeling. And you might want to be rich, but also you have your doubts and your insecurities. You need to do shadow work. You need to do some journaling work and get behind it. It's not about everything that I'm writing and reading and all of this. It's about what you're journaling, what you're getting clear on about your past, and then getting clear on about your future. So, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and look at the charts in reference to this full moon. So, this full moon is an interesting full moon because it is on the cusp. And when we're dealing with full moons that are on the cusp, you're dealing with a combination of energy from this, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, right? So we're coming off of a new moon that was in the Swati Nakshatra in Sidereal Libra that dealt a lot with whether your heart was as light as a feather, whether or not you was able to like kind of get over certain obstacles without losing yourself like Eminem. If you made it through that process, you should feel a little bit more comfortable on where you're going in life, irregardless if you got the if you have the manifestation yet. Sometimes it's not all about having the manifestation. A lot of times it's just about knowing that you're in the right direction, right? And as long as you know you're in the right direction, that is cool. So when you look at Libra, you look at Scorpio, you're dealing with the mental and you're dealing with the emotional. When you deal with the mental and the emotional, you have to have strong wills, strong mind, strong emotional regulation, or else you incorporate your weakness into your magic. Thus, you're doing a lot of hexing, you're doing a lot of negative magic, you're doing a lot of like, going to courts, filing paperwork against people, doing all of this backwards, behind the back type of shit, all because you can't come to a space where you love and honor yourself. So the opposite of this energy is the moon conjunct Uranus, where there is so much healing, there is so much deliverance, there is so much understanding and overstanding. It's a reason that a lot of people believe in God and a lot of people believe in church, because there is a particular energy that is unseen, that is benevolent, that is here to assist you. And that energy is called Kritaka, the Kritaka Nakshatra, and that's where the moon conjunct Uranus resides. So, in this particular area where we're talking about Taurus, we're talking about finances, we're talking about being prosperous. And a lot of times it's about knowing how to operate within a system or a cycle. So there have been times in your life where money has come to you. One's in the chat if you've ever been in a cycle where money have just came to you. It's almost, even if you had to work for it, you had a job where you was in a level of prosperity. For some odd reason, money just came to you. And then you would go into a cycle where it wasn't so benevolent as that previous cycle. So when you understand and overstand these cycles, you deal with the earth signs. The earth signs deal a lot with limitations. They deal a lot with agriculture. And when you incorporate agriculture into nature, you tend to drain the nature. And this is what causes human beings to migrate from place to place to place to place to place to place, because they drain the resources because they're in a space where they don't really understand and understand their limits. We as a species, and there's some societies, some civilizations that work well with nature, but for the most part, we tend to not know how to work well with nature. Thus, we drain nature and then we pull ourselves out of our limits. So, in reality, we live in a society that is in a lot of debt. What is the national debt? The national debt today is 35,950. No, I said 35,716,600,000 and counting, give or take. It's in the trillions of dollars, and that's 106,000 for every single person in America. So what does that mean? This means that since society have been a society, people have drained the well until there was no water in there. So money is that thing, ladies and gentlemen. Money is that thing that there is no more of. They are printing money in a way that it don't match up to what you getting made at your job. So therefore, there have to be a different system that gets implemented that people can then really figure out what the value of thing is versus the value of what I deserve. So with this being said, this is a system that is open source. Okay? The blockchain, now I'm going to look this up because I might be wrong. Yes, blockchain technology is generally considered open source, meaning the code behind it is freely available for anyone to view, modify, and distribute, which fosters transparency and collaborative development within the community. So a lot of astrological correspondences that goes with the blockchain, with Uranus moving into Taurus, and this being the foundation of finances, Saturn in Aquarius providing the transparency within the community, understanding that anyone can view, modify, and distribute. So you sit back and you get money from your job and you say, I don't need to learn about cryptocurrency. Tell me the logic behind it. Tell me, where do you get your strength from to not know about cryptocurrency? Tell me how smart it is to not know shit about cryptocurrency when it is increasing in value exponentially. When we did Blue Magic and we opened up these wealth portals, and when you seen the changes that took place in real life, you said, I'm not going to invest into cryptocurrency. And I said, damn, you got a job. What you gonna do with your paycheck? Spend it on some shit that ain't gonna have no value in a couple years? Man, give me that paycheck. I'll put that shit in my Bitcoin. Come back to it a year later, I'll give it back to you and I'll keep the profits. That's better than you going to Abercrombie and Fitch or going to the mall or getting some Buffalo Wild Wings, one in the chat. Because there's nothing wrong with going to Buffalo Wild Wings, but why spend your last on Buffalo Wild Wings? Why not figure out how to stack your money and invest your money? Why not have a cushion? What's the logic behind not having a cushion? What's the logic behind living check to check? What are the statistics around human beings? Do Americans have over $1,000? No, most Americans do not have over $1,000 in savings. So I ask again, what are you doing with your paycheck? It's not smart to invest in cryptocurrency now. You might want to wait for a correction. Although this 90,000 might be the lowest we ever see it in our lifetime. You just don't know about this type of shit. It's called risk. What is the correlation between investment and risk? In investing, there is a positive correlation between risk and potential return. Do I have to do Google search to figure out what the correlation between spending money and with no return is going to equate to your life and understanding your life? Because when we're discussing blue magic, we're not even discussing about being rich per se, because that'll throw people off. Because if this person down the street is rich and you're having struggles with your finances, he's not gonna give you no money and he's not gonna give you no gain. However, when you start to really start to understand that, man, being rich is about the choices that I make. It's not about me wishing on a star. It's not about me wasting time. It's about me doing the knowledge about these finances. And if I don't do the knowledge on my finances, nobody is going to do the knowledge for me. Because when you look at the chart, and you look at Aries energy and you look at Taurus energy, these are first forming energy, foundational energies, meaning that the things that it took you to learn how to walk were self-created. The things that developed you into your motor functions, your respiratory system, your circulatory system, these were self-created. Your bank account, for the most part, is self-created, for better or for worse. It's self-created. So if you are a human being and for some odd reason you say, I don't need to study finances, I'll just find somebody with money, or I'll just steal, or even better, I'll just get me a job for money. I don't need to study what investing is. I don't need to study the financial systems. I could just work and get a paycheck and buy what I want to buy. That is a self-creation. That is a reality. So when you look at Taurus, Taurus rules the personality. The personality is self-created. Your personality in reference to how much money you making, and if you 40 years old, I'm 40 years old. And I don't give a fuck. Building my shit up. It doesn't matter. Because this is what I'm doing. These are the steps that I'm taking. is going to be somebody that's 20 years old that if they implement these steps and invest properly and they more tapped into the altcoins because they know, listen, do y'all know about these altcoins? It's an altcoin called AI Prophecy. The AI Prophecy coin. I don't even know what this shit is about, but I'm just studying it myself, right? The market cap on it is 700 million. You can trade this coin. I don't even know what it's about. It's interesting to me though. I know it got something to do with something. The AI Prophecy coin. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people might be scarred from 22, 23, when there was a lot of scam artists in the cryptocurrency space. A lot of those people got, exercised out of it so that the market could be regulated, so that the market could grow. And let's not forget that Donald Trump is the president, and that kind of plays into it a little bit. If you look at Uranus, you see that Uranus is just beginning this cycle into Taurus. So once again, this is a 9-year cycle. This is a great awakening. When you look at Uranus and you look at Neptune and you look at Pluto, these planets are in perfect alignment over the next 9 years so you can live your spiritual truth. One of the realities of your spiritual truth is that you are to be amazingly abundant and prosperous beyond your wildest dreams and beliefs. That you're going to be so knee deep in your spiritual work that money is not going to be an object. And if you don't see a way in how you could become filthy rich, it would be to get knowledge about cryptocurrency and altcoins before it's too late. Invest properly, invest $1,000 to $10,000 in a proper altcoins over the next 2 to 3 years. Well, over this next year, while this current bull market is just now beginning, invest now during the wealth portal over this next month before the end of the year. Save your twos and fews and invest properly. Buy the dips, study the markets, understand what's taking place. Because it's not something that my brain can transfer into your brain, unfortunately. But I was just a person just like you. All hood, shut the fuck up about that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Anybody talking about cryptocurrency, shut the fuck up. I don't hear that shit. Man, if I would have listened to them, you know what I mean? I did well. I invested well. I got a little money, but it didn't necessarily change my life because I wasn't completely believing in the shit. But now as I'm in retrospect and I'm doing the journal work and I'm like seeing like, damn, that doubt is a motherfucker. That lack of belief is a motherfucker. Worried about all other shit that don't matter is a motherfucker. Do you want to change your life or not? That is the question that the full moons ask you, because the moon is going to be conjunct Uranus. The moon is going to be conjunct Uranus in the sign of sidereal Taurus. So when you talk about Uranus, Uranus is the planet of awakening. Awakening you to what? Awakening to you, what does this next 9 years look like? Are you walking into this next 9 years with a positive outlook? Because a negative disposition when Bitcoin was at 10,000 to say, oh man, this shit ain't going to be nothing. I should have invested every dollar I ever made into Bitcoin when it was at 10 grand. But a negative outlook in reference to something, oh, what if they shut down the electrical grid? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if it's a World War III? All of these particular negative thoughts, which don't contribute to the reality that everything positive is on the cusp. Something positive is about to happen. So invest wisely, invest properly, because something good is going to happen. What great thing is going to happen over the next 9 years for you? Because you don't have to think about it in a negative space. You don't have to. And if you look over at the sun, it's leaving Libra, heading into Scorpio, where it enters into another gateway. It's another refining process. And this is the part that I like the most: the emotional regulation and the emotional intelligence. Act like you've been there before, right? And really having your mindset on specific targets and specific goals now that you've made it through whatever you thought was going to take you under. It didn't take you under. You still here. You alive because you listening to the live. Now, what is your next point moving forward? Outside of being pessimistic, how do you move forward optimistically over these next 28 days for one, and then over the next 9 years for two? Because one thing is saying, well, I don't know how this money is going to come in. I don't know where it's going to come from. Everything is in perfect alignment, is right there in front of you. Do you have the knowledge? No. Get the knowledge. Hood, how do I get the knowledge? Is there a course I got to buy? You can go to babypips.com. Baby Pips, you can learn about crypto for free. Babypips.com. I'm thinking about doing something on the Discord where we just go through these courses. Just going through all of these courses, getting a basic foundational knowledge of crypto. And then we could expand it, right? We could expand it into different things. But at a certain point, it don't really make sense for us not to know what this shit is and not have regular conversation, exchanges. Yo, yo. Yeah. Start kicking the knowledge, just start glitching up on you. That's all crazy. But, like my personal thing over like this, just in multiple days of just like doing soul searching and being busy and homeschooling and studying and putting things together. It's like I didn't have this clarity a week ago. right? I wasn't this clear on the messaging a week ago that I am today. Like I don't really like it's like I didn't see it, but now I fully see it. So looking at the moon conjunct Uranus, right? The moon conjunct Uranus is felt as subconscious impulsiveness. And so when I look at subconscious impulsiveness, this is, I'll just translate that or move that into get it intuitions from the soul. And if you're not listening to it, it feels like impulsiveness. If you are listening to it, it just seems like direction. It seems like intuition. S- To be impulsive is not an act of the subconscious because the subconscious is not in control of anything. The subconscious is not connected to anybody but what you tell it. So if you tell your subconscious that you need some ass, then it comes across as impulsiveness, but you can tell your subconscious that you want to gain knowledge of self. You can tell your subconscious, I want to know who I am. I want to find love. I want to find it's a lot of things that you can tell your subconscious. You don't have to operate within your lower self. So the ways that most people look at it because they're so disconnected to Uranus, which is a transpersonal planet. It is a planet that is not connected to human life, but your overall destiny. So this becomes to be a very confusing placement for a full moon where within the spiritual community there's a lot of people that just want things to go their way and they're willing and trying to make everything go their way. But what about, I guess, God or the moral compass or source creation or just the way that things are? What about what that has to say when it comes to your life? And if you are, it's like what I wanted, I wanted things to go a certain way as far as business is concerned because that's just what I wanted. It made sense to me that business would continue in a way that I envisioned business to continue. But my soul was telling me to direct my business in a different direction. But I wasn't all the way clear on my soul because I wanted shit to go the way that I thought that thing should go. One's in the chat if that makes sense. Because it's not impulsiveness. It is more of being ego-centered and being arrogant to what the soul has to say. And when we look at this full moon, we have an opportunity to figure out what the soul absolutely has to say versus ignoring it and being frustrated because we ignore it and continuing to crash out. The moon conjunct Uranus, acting on instinct during this period is best because psychic talents are stimulated. Overthinking or trying to be patient probably won't work out as well. Flashes of insight should be taken seriously. So take a chance and back yourself. So, where does your confidence reside? Your confidence resides more or less on the education or training that you've been practicing. If you don't have that backbone, then it's going to be hard to be so confident, especially with Uranus moving into this particular area in the chart. If you feel insecure financially, then learn about financial markets and get wiser with your financial decisions. If you have figured it out financially, then maybe you need to tap more into your Saturn and Aquarius and help people join the Discord, join the Discord, join the Discord as we discuss about these financial systems in the Blue Magic channel whenever AD get it popping. So another aspect of this full moon is 29 Aries for the moon and 29 Libra for the sun. So the first Sabian symbol we look at is the moon because it is the full moon and the moon is centered in the full moon. And that Sabian symbol is a celestial choir singing, tuning in to the sound of the universe, devotion, veneration as tools of beauty and power. So, what this is specifically talking about is the fact that we live in a simulation that is ruled by 7 classical planets: the Sun, Moon, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, and Saturn. 7 major chakras: the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakras, which rule the 7 chords or 7 musical scales. Or 7 musical notes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These 7 musical notes are what have the whole entire universe in a form of lockdown. The music. You might be wondering what I'm talking about. But if you think about culture and people, there's a certain music that defines and outlines what cultures listen to and what and why and how they listen to certain types of music. In certain cultures, they won't be listening to Nicki Minaj and Sexy Red. And then the same way as we wouldn't be listening to the hottest Persian singer in the world. But they're all listening to music and they're all living in a certain type of way based upon the way that these musical notes are composed through the overlords of the 7 classical planets that give the artists the keys and the codes that then lock down the masses at a chakra level. So when we look at this Sabian symbol, it's much more in learning how to balance and deal with our chakras. Because a lot of times people be like, well, I don't really understand about chakras, so I don't really have to balance my chakras. And I don't have to be aware of my chakras. I don't have to be aware of my emotions, whether I'm grounded. And this is a part of consciousness. This is a part of being awakened to who you are energetic. And if you don't want to be awakened, then you can stay asleep. How do you stay asleep? By going to work, getting money, eating fast food, going to sleep, waking up, doing the same thing over and over again just so you can pay rent. If you want to get out of the matrix, you got to understand who you are internally by understanding your chakras. Columbian Exchange, or you can just Google Chakra Nova and utilize the exercises, utilize the knowledge, and get aware of who you are at a chakra level. Some of the people who reading this already got the book. It's videos on there already about the root chakra. But in reference to what chakra you need to work with, is usually a combination of the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. So you can really get tuned in to the frequencies. When I'm walking and I'm getting spiritual downloads, they come to me in high frequency tones, high frequency pitches, and being able to tune it is clear to me when it's happening. I realize it immediately when it's happening. One's in the chat if y'all ever have the high tone frequency pitch in either one of y'all ears just start vibrating very high. And then we can look at the Sabian symbol for the sun, humanity seeking to bridge knowledge. What knowledge are we bridging? The knowledge that we're bridging is the knowledge from our ancestors, the knowledge from the past into today. It's really about seeking true knowledge. Where does that knowledge come from? That knowledge comes from being in harmony with the sound of the universe. Where exactly is the sound of the universe? The sound of the universe is within you. The frequencies and the tones and the music that the universe has is within you. When we are playing music and listening to music, that is an interpretation of what is already within us in the first place. We don't have to even worry about being a rap star, being successful. All we have to do is listen to the sound of the universe, which is within us. But we must quiet our minds. We must regulate our emotions, because if we don't regulate our emotions, we're going to be talking about our baby mama. How much our baby mama get on our nerves. One's in the chat, if you find yourself thinking about how much your baby mama get on your nerves, you just wish she would get on your program. You just this, that, and the third. And what is this doing? This is flooding out the sound of the universe, and you're not able to really get the knowledge that you seek, because the knowledge that you seek doesn't come in the form of me talking to you, a guru talking to you, you getting a reading from this person. The knowledge that you truly seek comes from within you through the frequencies and the vibration or the music that is your chakras. When you just simply reflect on the music that is within you, that is the true knowledge. It gets trickled down into information. It gets trickled down into actions. But in its raw primal form, it's just raw sound. So really think about this going into this full moon. What is this full moon about in totality? In my opinion, through my studies, it's a time to focus on your priorities that align with your personal values and long-term plans, meaning that there should be a 28-day plan and there should be a 9-year plan. Meaning that understanding the charts, getting a grasp on cryptocurrency, getting a grasp on Forex, getting a grasp on stocks, whatever your instrument is, getting a grasp on it, that should be your 28-day plan. Your long-term plan might be to become super proficient to where you're able to live off of your investments in 9 years. That's the ultimate retirement plan. You're never going to make enough money, save enough money to retire on. So if you invest properly, invest correctly, You could live off of your interest. You could live off of your compound interest. But you can do it over 9 years. For me, I started this process, and for some reason I got off of the process. I can't, there's a lot going on, I guess. But that doesn't matter. It's still a long-term goal of mine to look 9 years down the line and say, at least I made proper investments in 2024 moving forward, to whereas I could have continued to crash out. So just because you didn't hop on it when Bitcoin was 10,000, or you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, you don't know anything about stocks, that you shouldn't learn about financial systems. Because if you see yourself living 9 years, one's in the chat if you want to live wealthy in those coming 9 years. And you want to do it a righteous way that is in alignment. You're not scamming, you're not scheming, you're not hustling, you're not working, you're not having to do a bunch of things that do not align with your personal values just to get a dollar. Then you want to understand investments, you want to understand financial systems. 2, make decisions based on inner guidance rather than external pressure. Case in point, today is the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight. And a lot of people is going to be figuring out who's going to win and who's going to lose, and watch and be at this type of thing. And then at the same time, you'll see Bitcoin going parabolic. You'll see altcoins associated with the fight going parabolic. Even when Bitcoin goes down, there are altcoins that are accessible that you can trade in, that you can make money in. And this is referencing inner guidance. For me, it's the financial systems. What is your inner guide telling you that you need to be studying so you can get better in the next 9 years for you? Do you feel like you should get into crypto and you just feel afraid, or you feel like the information is overwhelming? Babypips.com, start there. Point number 3, reflect on this time as a moment to deliberate well-considered choices. So over this next 28 cycle, from full moon to full moon cycle, is not to say because you heard this video, invest in the Bitcoin right now. That would be stupid. Invest on a correction. Figure out where a correction is. Figure out where a bottom is. Chart your, or I would say, work your own charts. Understand what you're looking at. Watch some YouTube videos. Go to babypips.com. They can teach you about Forex. They can teach you about stocks. I'm saying Baby Pips because Baby Pips is free. And you want to base knowledge before you invest any money into anything. But if you'd have had this base knowledge 5 years ago, you would have invested 5 years ago, and today you would have been rich. So I'm saying this, today, you can invest today, and 9 years from now, you will be rich if you take this 28 days. See, people is going to get on this goddamn platform and tell you about this full moon and hit you with nothing but mumbo jumbo and shit that is not real. This is actually real stuff that you can do your own due diligence on and make your own decisions, and it's all dealing with technology. That means that it is spiritual at its base, because where is this shit from? The blockchain technology is open source. So if you wanted to create a crypto coin for your goddamn self, you got your own business, you got your own mission, your own team, your own mission. You can do it yourself. This is a different frontier. And don't count yourself out because you don't have the knowledge. Reflect on this time as a moment to deliberate well-considered choices. Make sure you do your due diligence over these next 28 days. Do not crash out because it's at 90,000. You want to see it go down to 60,000 again or 70,000 again. If the market goes low, you want to start figuring, okay, this is a good time to get in. Because we already seen what can do, and we haven't even reached the point where people is even caring about this shit yet. When people start caring about this shit and you invest it now, you're gonna feel such a sigh of relief. In 364 days, you take profit and you got 10x, 20x, 100x your money. Okay? But once again, what do you want? Clarify your goals. This full moon is about clarity. Be so clear when it comes to this spiritual stuff. Be so clear about it, because a lot of people utilizing this spiritual stuff and they ain't even happy on the inside. They ain't even having no direction. They ain't even making no motion in real life. They just broken and they using this spirituality to transfer energy. Be so clear. Make sure, and spirit is so clear for me. I my Setmore, I can't even take readings on my Setmore no more. Only way I could do reading is through people through my Patreon. I'm not even like, I can't even do it. And I'm calling Setmore like, hey, what's going on? They're like, all right, we just gonna do this thing. Is it fixed yet? I'm like, no, it ain't fixed. After 2 weeks of trying to fix some shit, you got to be like, spirit don't want me to be here or do this. I might set up readings again on my Colombian exchange, but I say it, I'm going to do it. I never do it. Sometimes spirit be wanting me to lock in and focus and minimize what I'm doing so I can get clear on what I need to do. And I'm using that as an example for what is it in your life that you felt should have been an avenue or a channel for you, but it's being closed off. If it's being closed off, accept it. Act like it's not there, and the reason that it's not there is because God don't want it to be there. Another point, Saturn stations direct. Saturn been retrograde since June 29th. So the feelings and energy that you've been feeling since June 29th, June 29th is when money officially slowed up in the economy. It went to a halt. Now, as Saturn stations direct, you might not get the money that you've been owed today, but over the weekend, look for things to start to change in reference to your business. Saturn stations direct. It's been retrograde since June 29th. And if you look at your financial statements from June 29th to now, I bet you've been like, God damn. So now that this in this perfect time, we're going into Black Friday, going into Christmas season, going into the New Year's. We can end up this year with a bang. This has been a tough year financially. However, it's about to end with a great year. 2025 is an opportunity for us all to be wealthy. At the very least, become incredibly rich. All of us. Not just some of us, not just a few of us, not the person at the top of the pyramid scheme, but all of us have the opportunity to be rich. But we have to be sharp, we have to be focused, and we have to know that whatever it is that our spirit is telling us, we have to act in accordance with it. Meaning that if we are making these choices and we're planning and we're doing these things and our spirit is not behind it, we could be wasting our time. So it's time to do clarity. It's time to do shadow work. If you are a White Rabbit subscriber, if you are a paid subscriber of the White Rabbit, go to the main site. The main site, you can just click this main where it says the White Rabbit. Click that. It's going to bring you to the main page. Click the search bar, type financial shadow work. And every article that I wrote in reference to financial shadow work since the beginning of October until now, we finished. We did not the end of October. I'm not even going to lie. We did 8 parts in about a week and a half. trying to get this ebook together, but I don't know what I want to do with the ebook. I want to do an intensive. I want people to journal. But the trick of it is that this is the trick of it. People gonna have to pay, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like you gotta be serious about it. Because I was serious about it, and I seen the transformation. And Spirit is like, you trying to give it away for free. You trying to just give it away to your paying subscribers. You got to do an intensive, and people got to put that money on the line. But so we got to do 8 weeks of journaling. Hardcore journaling, and there's no excuse. You gotta go in the past. You can't say, well, I can't think of nothing. No excuses, and you gotta put that money on the line. So it's all done. It just gotta be organized, and I gotta do some shadow work my damn self, because I always have a trouble with charging people in that manner. Because talking to spiritual niggas, they be like, man, you'll never be charging nothing. And I'll be like, man, I'm not trying to scam like y'all be scamming. I ain't a scammer like that. And it's not scamming. Sometimes if you want serious people, you got to charge accordingly. That's just the reality of it. But me, I'm just, I'm super modest when it comes to this type of shit. So with all that being said, I'm gonna do my shadow work. I'm gonna get to a center point where it'll be charged for people that want to do it seriously, and it won't break nobody's pockets at the same time. I feel like there's a middle point to that. But the intensive is going to be called Financial Shadow Work. It's a place where it's going to be some instruction, some education, and from there we're going to be journaling. We're going to be sharing. We're going to be expressing, we're going to be clearing, and we're going to be so clear on where we want to be financially that it's not going to make no effing sense. But that'll be coming very shortly on Columbian Exchange. You can sign up for that. But I'll let y'all know once the link is up. But I would give myself about another 1 to 2 weeks of organizing, getting everything set. But that is the thing that I'm working on. Also, White Rabbit Psych, we have the Mr. Hood bars, where we have a regular chocolate and albino chocolate. The taste profile of it, I would say it reminds me of a drumstick bar, because it got peanuts and almonds in it, and it's milk chocolate. The Food of the Gods bar is I want to say Bavarian chocolate, but it might not. I don't even know. I'm thinking about the Illuminati. It might be the Bavarian chocolate, though. I don't know, but it's a more richer chocolate. The Mr. Hood bar is your classic milk sweet chocolate with nuts and almonds. Man, that bitch is good. And I took 2 last night and was up all night tweaking. So it's powerful at the same time. So with all that said, visit whiterabbitpsych.com, columbianexchange.com. Check out the Discord. Check out the article. Stay tuned for that financial shadow work. Hope y'all enjoyed this video as we discuss this full moon. Be sure to get your investments in order, get your money in order. You know what I'm saying? It is going down like Young Jock in the A-Town, man. I'm the Hood Mystic, representing hoodmystic.com. Man, like the video on your way out. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope y'all got something from it. Hope it inspired y'all to do some investing, or at least get your knowledge up surrounding investing. And as soon as AD get the Discord sub channel going, I'll let y'all know, and we'll have talks like these on the regular, because I want to share the knowledge, and I want to do a lot in reference to financial literacy. But please, I'm waiting on him to open up the Discord channel so I can let people know where that link is at, so we can just have these conversations. So I want to be a resource, and I want to see us all get money together. That'll be fun, don't you think? But with all that being said, man, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope y'all tap into this energy. I hope y'all get some money. Enjoy y'all families. Y'all probably watching this fight. I'm pretty sure the initiates will be back on tonight to talk about some things as well, man. So Stick with us as we grow this platform, as we grow all of our interests. And, join the Discord, join the Discord, join the Discord. We would love for you to ride along with us as well. So with all that being said, man, peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. I will see you all on the flip side. Peace.
You are traveling with the Hood Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.